So we were talking about Archangel Michael, and I was explaining to you that in the beginning there was one energy, and without going into the creational story, that one energy, like a crystal diffracts white light to create a rainbow, this energy, this creational consciousness, split itself through diffraction, because the creational consciousness is a form of white light, into 7 coloured membranes which correlate with the rainbow. And the highest, the first membrane that separated from source was the mauve, M-A-U-V-E, mauve, like pale purple. That's the one I've been out of body and seen. So it's exquisitely beautiful, shiny, reflective. And I was like a pin dot, and it was like, it looked like skin floating through air, but not skin, like, but thin, and anyway, it was stunning, and it was covered in bubbles. And I asked my guides, what are the bubbles? And they said, universes. This is when I used to get taken out of body every night and shown things. I had 9 months where I was taken out of body for 3 to 5 hours every night. When my son was about 9, so about 22 years ago. So when I was channeling Archangel Michael, I asked him what he really was. Was he really an archangel, or was he just a guide saying he was Archangel Michael? Like, the reason I asked that is that when 9/11 fell, all the guides and guardians lined up to take the spirits out of the people, and they appeared as all different things. Like, I saw it in my mind. Some appeared as Jesus, some appeared as Mother Mary, some appeared as grandparents or mothers and fathers, some appeared as Allah, Buddha. So depending on the relationship people have with different deities, the energies just appeared as what that person needed to see. Yes? So Archangel Michael explained to me that he, and I use the word he very loosely, it is probably a better word, but it kind of sounds rude, right? And he, on one level, is a pool of consciousness, like the membranes are a membrane of consciousness. They're like, it's like a pool of light, or a ball of light, if you want to see it that way. I see it as a flat pool, like a disc. Like, you know when you see pictures of solar systems? I was trying to think of the word, not universe, solar systems, and how from a distance they're just like a spiraled, flat looking, broken up, lots of energies, yeah? So that's how I see Michael. Only I don't see him as broken up. I see him as a full pool, like, of light, liquid light. And he said, yes, I am that. But I'm also, part of me is surrounding Earth. Like it's one of the rings around Earth that completely, like a bubble, completely encapsulates Earth. And it is that Archangel Michael is known on Earth as a protector. And that consciousness comes from the fact that he actually protects Earth. And part of what he does is to deflect meteors. So every time Earth wants to shed and do a new experience, they allow a meteor through that changes the environment back to scratch, and it regrows and everything reforms. And like when the dinosaurs were theoretically made extinct, even though birds are actually living dinosaurs. So the ones that couldn't hide and survive died. So Archangel Michael is a pool of light. He is a protective coating around the Earth. Not close on the Earth, it's out in the atmosphere. Obviously it's in another dimension. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't asked, maybe we could actually see it in a sense of scientifically, but I don't know, I'd have to ask that. I'm just teaching you from what I already know rather than bringing it through.
Is it kind of like when you see the rings around the moon?
Like the rings around the moon, why not?
Like that?
Because it's an energy, right? It's an energy, not a... it's not like a hard disk or a plate or a, but it's consciousness enough that it can deflect. And I don't mean physically deflect, it would just shift the timeline slightly so that meteor doesn't hit that particular timeline or shift something. But anyway, it doesn't really matter about the meteors. It's not why I'm telling you about it. We could go on about that for hours, right? Meteors. But Archangel Michael also has splintered aspects. Splinters being a good word, not like a splinter in the finger. Like you could just, they're very, very tiny pieces of that energy that have incarnated on Earth. I've dated 2 men that were aspects of Archangel Michael because he is my perfectly aligned mate in this lifetime. And there'll be other women that are with an aspect of Archangel Michael. The young girl we had in class is an aspect of Archangel Uriel. There's people on this planet. There was a huge download of Palladians that incarnated, and at the time my guides gave me the actual year they started incarnating and the year that they stopped, and they said look it up. It's that massive, there was a massive suicide spike. I can't remember, Car, can you remember if it was the 70s or the 80s? We can re-channel it. It was channeled 20 years ago. And all these incredibly beautiful Palladian beings who come from a place that's they live in a different dimension in Pleiades. They don't live physically like we do on Earth. But they are actually on the Palladian planet. It's been a slightly altered dimension. And they live in a peace and harmony, and their main work they do is art, which they make out of light, and helping other planets evolve, helping other races evolve. That's their MO. So, they're all different. I actually did a class on this probably back in the 80s, 90s. 2002 they said. Okay, 2002 I did a class on it. I did record it at the time, but it's long gone. So there's different races and different energetic beings of all different types, and that recently there's been a lot of, in the last 15, 20 years, there's been a lot of people incarnating back from the future to bring through concepts that can help us evolve. So like they told me the whole computer concept came from the future. So chicken and the egg, it's one of those. It's kind of confusing, but they brought the computer down for us to understand ourselves and how we are programmed. And AI is a form of us without connection. AI is like us without a soul, right? How do you give AI a soul? Well, that's a very big question. And so when you meet people and people say, oh, they're an angel, well, they may be. Because like Archangel Michael has the legions of light, and the legions of light is a massive army. So on one level, Archangel Michael is the leader of an army of beings that go places and are warriors and protect people that are holding light. Like every single person on this planet that is consciously clearing their crap and holding light has a team protecting them. Yeah? So you have one, you have one, you have one, I have one. Yeah? And they may be angelic, or they may be from another dimension, your protectors, but you will have some. Hang on, let me just check. Does everyone have angels? No, not everyone has angels. Okay. So we start talking about Archangel Michael, so that's why I brought this up. And that's it. That's all I'm saying right now. I'm going to hang up. Bye.